Video 31, Math Lesson 3.7, Properties of Polygons. In your math message, you were asked to complete journal page 80. And on page 80, you had a task to figure out which shape could be hidden behind the box. Gina drew 4 shapes: equilateral triangle, square, rhombus, and hexagon. She covered up most of each figure as shown below. Can you tell which figure is which? Make sure you have written the name below each figure and try to draw in the rest of the figure. Now, if I'm thinking about solving this problem, I'm going to take a look at what I have here first. And I can see that this shape is going to have more than 4 sides when it's complete. Therefore, I know that it can't be a triangle or a square or a rhombus. So this first shape has to be the hexagon. Now, the second and third shapes here, these cannot be squares. I can see one of the angles in the shapes, and those are not right angles. So that tells me that this last shape here has to be the square. So now I'm left with the equilateral triangle and the rhombus. Now, I kind of know in my head what an equilateral triangle looks like. And when I look at this chunk right here, I can see that it's too tall and skinny. It's too close together and long. There's no way that if I drew the third line going across that it would be equal in length to these 2 lines. So I can see that this cannot be an equilateral triangle. So that means the second figure here would have to be the equilateral triangle, and the third figure would be the rhombus. Okay, so if you take a look at your response and see how it compares to the answer. Now, today we're going to talk about polygons. All of this is information that you should already know, but probably it's not quite sharp in your mind. So let's take a look about everything about polygons. A polygon is a flat, two-dimensional figure made up of line segments called sides. A polygon can have any number of sides as long as it has at least 3. The interior, or inside, of a polygon is not part of the polygon. The sides of a polygon are connected end to end and make one closed path. The sides of a polygon do not cross. Each endpoint where 2 sides meet is called a vertex. The plural of vertex is vertices. We'll talk about vertices more in the future. A vertex is just like in an angle where the 2 sides meet at a point. Study these figures that are polygons. Now take a look at these figures that are not polygons. This one is not a polygon because a polygon cannot have curved lines. Curved lines are not line segments. So keep in mind that polygons must have straight sides. This figure here is not a polygon because it does not form a closed path. It has this opening right here. That cannot be a polygon. It needs to be a closed figure. Same with this one right here. This one also is not a polygon because it only has 2 sides, and a polygon must have at least 3 sides. This fourth figure here is not a polygon because it has these sides that cross. The sides of a polygon must not cross. Now, polygons are named after the number of their sides. The prefix in a polygon's name tells the number of sides it has. Study the prefix box. You'll recognize many of them. Tri means 3. Think triangle. We've got quadrangle, pentagon, 5 sides, hexagon, 6 sides, heptagon, 7 sides, octagon, 8 sides, nonagon is 9 sides, a decagon is 10 sides, or a dodecagon would have 12 sides. Now, polygons can be convex or non-convex. A convex polygon is a polygon in which all the sides are pushed outward. The polygons below are all convex. Most of the polygons that we work with in 5th grade are convex polygons, but not all. But you can see here examples of most of those polygons that we just talked about in the last chart. We're missing a dodecagon with 12 sides. A non-convex, or often called concave polygon, is a polygon in which at least 2 sides are pushed in. The polygons at the right are all non-convex. When I was younger, we called these concave polygons, and when I thought of caving in, that helped me remember that these kinds of polygons have a side that caves in. So if that helps you remember, hopefully that will be helpful to you. You can see how this is kind of pushed in there. Like right here, this side is pushed in. Here, this side is pushed in. And on this one, we've got this side and this side and this side all pushed in. And that's what makes it a concave polygon, or non-convex. Something else that's interesting to realize about these is when it's concave, when it has a side that's pushed in, that angle formed right here, if you measure it, it will make a reflex angle because it will be more than 180 degrees. That's another way you can recognize a non-convex polygon. And finally, there's a set of polygons that we call regular polygons. And this is really important for you to remember in 5th grade. We'll be working with regular polygons more often probably than you did in 4th grade. A polygon is a regular polygon if 2 things are true. 1, the sides all have the same length, and 2, the angles inside the figure are all the same size. So regular polygon means equal sides, equal angles. All of the sides of the shape are congruent, all of the angles in the shape are congruent. A regular polygon is always convex. The polygons below are all regular. So here's an example. An equilateral triangle is a regular polygon, just like a square is regular polygon. We can also have a regular pentagon, and that's what we name it, regular pentagon. Hexagon, octagon, and nonagon. These are examples of regulars. Now we can have hexagons that are not regular, but this is what a regular hexagon looks like. And you might recognize this hexagon because it's also one of our pattern block shapes, and we do a lot of work with this kind of a hexagon. Remember, regular polygons mean congruent sides, congruent angles.